start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to do a couple quick announcements. First is Debbie Ferris, pardon me, and I'm going to hand over the microphone and let her discuss what's going on.
Hello. For those of you that may not know, I am the chair of the Sumter County Democratic Party. And our mission is to elect Democrats. And we are so fortunate that we have a Democratic candidate who's running for Florida House District 52. So if you live in Sumter County and you're a Florida voter, you can sign a petition to help her get on the ballot. But I wanted to introduce her today and let her say a word or two. Also, we are looking for volunteers to help us with collecting petitions at the rallies. So if you would like to volunteer for that, you can come up to the table and sign up. Good morning. Thank you.
And as Debbie stated, I am Pamala Harrison Bivins, and I look forward to being on the ballot for House District 52. And I would like to represent you and all of Sumter County and part of Hernando. If you would take the time to complete the petitions, take the time to attend the rallies, and most of all, take the time to go to the polls and vote. I need you, you need me. I want to hear from you as to what it is you need from me. We are one big, happy family, Democratic family, and we will serve each other, hopefully, and when I'm elected to this position. Again, I need you, you need me. I want to represent you, not only represent you, but represent you well. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Commissioner for 25 years.
We'd like to introduce Phyllis Leopold. She is the Vice President of the Village's Democratic Club, and she has a special guest with her. And if you've ever seen the monthly calendar of the daily events, that is the golf. Here's Phyllis.
What am I doing? And what's a good way to get a hole in one? I'm very happy to invite you to our first upcoming golf scramble, and I'd like to introduce you to the very wonderful Democrat volunteer who's putting this all together for us. His name is Tom Baker. Tom runs golfing, in case you don't know, on Wednesdays and Fridays every week. So if you want to play with other Dems, no matter what level you're in, that's open to all of us, thanks to Tom, who's now putting this into a larger effort for the golf outing. Tom?
Thank you very much. I just wanted to let you know I do run those Wednesdays and Friday golf groups. Some of you do play in them. Some of you know me, some of you may not know me. I also wanted to let you know that I am not a candidate. I am not asking for your vote. But I am asking for your participation. On April 2nd, we will be having a golf scramble event at Arlington Ridge Golf Course, which is very close to the Villages. The day will start at noon with a lunch, pre-round lunch, and then afterwards we will play 18 holes of scramble golf. For $80 as an individual, or for a team of 4 at $320, you will get to play golf, have lunch, have a golf cart, and have some fun. There will be prizes, and there will be a goodie bag for all the golfers, which will probably include some golf balls and some other paraphernalia that you may or may not want to use while you play. That's up to you. But on top of that, there's one other thing we would like you to try to help us with. If you know a butcher, a baker, or a candlestick maker, we need people to sponsor holes. For $120, even someone in this room might want to pay $120, you will get a hole sponsorship, which will include a sign on the hole that indicates you've been a sponsor for the group. We're trying to raise some money at this point for two particular groups, possibly more. One is the Forward Pass Foundation, and that group helps homeless youth and people that are aging out of the foster care program to reintegrate into society. And the other group is the Lake Sumter Children's Advocacy Center. And this center helps children who have been abused to go to one location and be able to get counseling, medical examinations, and long-term specialized therapy. This is the first time we've tried to run this outing. We've already had people sign up. Close to 60 people have signed up. We need to get a number more. We're trying to reach at least 72 golfers. And we also have some sponsors that have signed up. One of them is in this room over here, which means that candidates can sign up and have their poster at the golf event. And that's basically what we'd like you to do. We'd like you to come out and tee it up with us and have a very, very good time.
I have forms.
If you need a form to sign up,
Just raise your hand.
or you can scan the code, we will gladly give those out to you. Otherwise, we hope to see you on April 2nd. Meet some other Democrats, have a good time playing golf. If you have any questions, we can answer them.
Thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate it. It's a very worthwhile cause. I believe this is the first time we've done a tournament like this, so hope everybody turns out. It should be a lot of fun. My name is Bill Dixon. I'm the president of the club, and everything you're going to be seeing after on the slides, it's my material, so if anything's wrong, it's on me. I'd like to go to the first slide, if you don't mind. I'm going to talk very briefly about okay, this is the lettuce prices that we go out every month, and we obtain from 3 different stores, that being Target, Walmart, and Publix. And the whole idea is that there's a guy that ran for president and said he's going to reduce prices from day one. Well, this is what's been going on. Not much of a change. Next slide, please. This is orange juice, kind of homegrown here in Florida. Does anybody see the prices going down? No. Now, you ready for the next one? You may have seen some things lately over the past week or so about gasoline prices. This is weekly prices. And everybody seen it from, going up to about $3.50? Has anybody seen it over $4? Raise your hand. Okay, we were down in Tampa recently, and it's getting real close to, I would not want to have a diesel vehicle right now. Okay, so anyway, this is weekly. We'll be tracking on this. And all this information is on the next slide, which is the club's website. And we have it under the economics. That way, any graphic that we show here, you can actually pull up and show to friends or whoever. You can actually copy and paste and put it onto Facebook or onto emails. Next slide, please. Okay, Blue Wave. Last month, we talked about, what do the congressional races in Florida look like as far as winning margins, if you will. And remember we were talking about special elections that have occurred over the past, there's about 5 of them, and there's been a huge swing in favor of the Democrats. That's basically putting everything, all the candidates that are to the right of that green line at risk. And this is before ICE. This is before Iran, okay? So when we talk about the amount of the change, this is even going to be greater, okay? So taking that same concept, but take it and think of it as a state level. Let's go to the next slide. And what we have is which states did Biden have the least or the most percent of the votes that were cast? All right, so the ones with the least amount, Wyoming and West Virginia, 27 and 30%. In other words, those are ruby red states. On the blue side, the ones that were the most were District of Columbia and Vermont. Okay, so this is basically a table. So it goes from the most red to the ones that are still red, but barely red. And then ditto with the blue, but going upwards. And what you have is the 6 swing states. Okay, this is from the election of 2020. Why is this important? Let's go to the next graphic. So what we have is all 50 states, where this is West Virginia, Wyoming and West Virginia. And as you slide across, the bars represent the electoral college votes by state. Does anybody see some bars that are pretty high? That's Texas. Over here, Florida. Over here, North Carolina. And look what happened. Oh, Biden got 49% in North Carolina. He had 48% in Florida. Okay? In other words, the Republicans have some very, very large states that are at high risk of a blue wave taking that state. Let's go to the next slide, which is we're looking at the top 5 from the middle part. Okay, so you have Arizona, and we know about the 6 swing states. But I want to point out once again that on the blue side, look at the one blue state that is closest to the green. That's Minnesota. Has anything happened in Minnesota lately? Okay, do you think that's going to endear them to the Republican Party? No. What it's going to do, it's going to slide them further into the right side. If you notice on that prior graph, can we go back one graph? Possible? Yeah, can we go backwards? Sorry, I missed something. I want to point out, you see California over there? They have 54 electoral college votes, and there's 63% Democrat for Biden, okay? In other words, as a kid growing up in California, I remember they wouldn't call an election until midnight, until they heard from California. But look how California's gone to the right. Because there was a proposition called 187 that basically targeted the Hispanic population, okay? So let's go next slide, please. And we're going to go one more slide after this. If you look to see where the Hispanic population is by state, this is overall the United States, 19% is Hispanic. That's the black dash slide. But there's states that have higher and lower percents for that. So you have let's go over here. Oh, what do we have? Arizona, 31% Hispanic. You have New Mexico, Nevada, 29%. These are the states that were in the bubble, if you will, as far as the swing states. And what's going to go on, if you've ever been demonized, you do not forget what has gone on with ICE if you're Hispanic. And what's going to happen, like what happened in California, people are going to get organized and they're going to get involved. So watch for these green states, to start moving to the right. And I do want to, so there's going to be some changes. I just want to point out, it's the action, North Carolina, but look what's going on in Florida. We have 27% Hispanic. Now, it's not all, there's different segments of Hispanic, but look what's going on in Texas, 39%. It doesn't take very much of a change to get mobilized to make a swing state, to get one of these large states to go, to become a swing state or go blue. Because if the Republicans ever lose either Florida or Texas, you will never have a Republican president again. Okay, I'm wrapping, I'm going. Next one, this is the, next week, we have Illinois in the primary, and then there's the entire month of April. There is no voting that's taking place then. And then these are the key dates to be watching for. Now, our primary comes up in August 18th, okay? And then this is the congressional districts that we have here. Here's the villages. The villages spills into 2 different congressional districts. You have, in the north, you have District number 6, which the incumbent's Randy Fine. And then the second congressional district is Florida 11, and that's Daniel Webster's. And I want to emphasize, those are both current incumbents. Let's go to the next slide, please. So looking at Florida 6, it's the upper corner. It's basically the historical, and it's picking up some of the Lake County areas. And just to give you a relative idea of how far the district goes out, goes all the way out to Daytona Beach. So if you're representing that district, you're gonna be doing a lot of driving. All right, and then, let me see, if we go to the next congressional district, this is Webster's, just to give you an idea of the size of this. These districts are basically sized based upon getting 750,000 people. Okay, that's the reason why these districts are large, and they're basically rural. When you think about driving from here to the Atlantic Ocean, there's a lot of empty space there, and it's gonna be rural. So just FYI. With that in mind, I would like to introduce the congressional candidate for Florida 6th. That's the upper district one, and that's Ronnie. Come on up. With that, I will let Ronnie introduce, and I will get off stage. Thanks so very much.
You know he honked the horn when you said honk the horn, so.
Yes.
He's probably gonna have to honk the horn for me, because I talk a lot. Just a test?
Just a test.
I mean, you don't want me to get off already. How you doing? Good. Thank you guys for being here. I love this. Anyway. I love it because I have a sister that we found out she was my sister when we were 11 years old, and she's deaf and mute. And so I've been trying to learn little things, and I'm glad that we are doing this for people who have this disability, because it's very important that they also stay informed about everything that's happening in our country, because it's not their fault. So, let's wake up a little bit and say, good morning, the Villages Democrats. This is 2026, so we're gonna be louder than that. This is an election year that we all need to be pumped up about, so let's try that again. Good morning, Village Democrats. There we go. First, I want to thank the Village Democrats and Bill for inviting me here today. It's I'm honored to be here, back in the villages, and I want to tell you a little bit more why I say back in the villages, a little bit more down my speech. I have my little speech here because I have a little something called TVDC that I will get off track. I mean, it's great to have that thing, especially running a congressional district that takes 3 hours to drive one way. But I want to thank you guys for being here and inviting me here today. It really is truly an honor. When I look around this room, I see people who are pumped up and ready to fight the good fight that we are going to have to take to all the way to Washington, not only our local elections, but to Washington. And I see people who care about their country and want to stay informed. And I know this because you guys want to be here on a Saturday waiting for me to come with my speech. I know I'm good looking, but it's Saturday. We are in the villages. Most of you guys could be on your go-kart going up and down Morse Boulevard, playing with your puzzle pieces, and these are all just rumors, so don't knock the horse, okay? But you guys decided to be here listening to us about your future, and we all are appreciative of it. Let me tell you guys something important, because I heard people say that Sumter County is the retirement capital of the world. But what I see here today is people who are not retired, who are fed up with what's happening in this country and ready to push forward and keep fighting the ever-loving fight that we need to keep going. I gotta hold my tongue sometimes because this administration will make you go to the right. But for you guys who don't know me, my name is Ronnie Murchinson-Riveera. I'm running for United States Congress to unseat and fire Randy Vaughn. But most of all, besides getting him out, we need to bring real change and decency back to our country. Now, before I get into the politics, because we're already into politics, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I am a husband to my beautiful wife, Julia. She's somewhere in the crowd. Where are you? She's back there. My beautiful wife, Julia. Me and my wife been together since we were in junior high school. We were junior high school sweethearts, and we kept going. Now we're 35 and 33, and we hope to make it to some ages of, I've been hearing the stories, some people 60 plus years, so hopefully we can make it to that one day. I have 6 children. I have 5 biological children, but I have 1 foster child. Me and my wife are foster parents as well. We have a foster child who we brought down from New York with us, who became a part of our family. And when she was a teenager, now she's grown and blessed us with our first technical grandchild. Right? He just turned 1 year old. So I'm blessed. But let me tell you something, being an early grandparent, it humbles you real quickly. Right? It humbles you real quickly because most of my life has been about one thing, serving others. Majority of my life, me and my wife met in a church that we were serving others, volunteering, we was age 7. But my story begins in Brooklyn, New York. Any New Yorkers here? After this, we don't talk because it just, we're going to know if we're friends because I'm actually one question. If you're in New York, if you know this. Mets or Yankees? All right. Yankees all day. There we go. But I grew up in a poor middle-class neighborhood where people worked incredibly hard just to stay afloat. My neighbors were everyday people, construction workers, CNAs, home health aides, bus drivers, teachers. And I emphasize teachers because I'm thankful for everything you guys have been doing. So if you work in the educational system, please give yourself a hand clap. And not only that, they were small business owners. They weren't making a lot of money, but they cared about their family. They cared about the community. They cared about everyday people, no matter who you are. And nobody did expect their life to be easy, right? We believe in something that was very, very simple. If you work hard, love it. Love it. If you worked hard, you should have a fair shot in America. And growing up in that kind of community taught me something very important. Even though we didn't have a lot, we had each other. And neighbors looked out for one another. People helped each other when times were rough. And that shaped the person I am today. As I got older, that sense of community got to me more and more. And I wanted to do something about it. I have a responsibility to give back not only to the people who helped me grow up into the man I am today, but the community that helped me grow up into the man I was today. So I had a responsibility to serve others. And that's what pushed me towards public service. So a big part of that influence came from my godmother who worked in EMS in New York City, who worked during the 9/11 crisis, who came home and told me stories about how she helped somebody whose heart stopped, or helped a baby be born in the back of the ambulance. And that's when I knew. I told you guys about my ADHD, right? I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I became a part of something called the Trauma Troopers at the Bedside Volunteer Ambulance Service. And up until I was 13 to 18, I volunteered. Once I became 18, I became a certified EMT. And I worked in EMS for over a decade in New York City. And if anybody worked in the medical field, you know EMS is not the easiest thing to do. Now imagine doing it in a place like New York City, right? The biggest and fastest growing, strongest democratic city we know. You see everything. You see things that you wish you never seen. You see the struggle, you see the pain, but beyond that, you see incredible strength. Not only from the people who helped build up that community, but for the people who stepped up and made that change. Because that job teaches you something very important. That public service is not about politics. Public service isn't about power. It's about people. And when you respond to a 911 call, you don't see race. Just letting you guys know, when we respond to 911 calls, we don't see your skin color. We don't see your religion. We don't see if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent. We don't judge you. We don't look at the color of your skin. Well, unless you have hypothermia. Then we look at the color of your skin we determine what's happening, and then we go on from there. But other than that, they're human beings. And that's what's missing in this administration. They're not looking at people as human beings. Go ahead, answer it. Just tell them I'm here. All that matters. But after all of that, in 2017, me and my wife made the decision to move down to Florida. It was mainly because of the snow. Right, snowbirds, you get what I'm talking about. All right. But I wanted to continue doing something that gave back to the community. Because in New York City, I worked in EMS. Me and my wife started a nonprofit organization to help homeless families, homeless veterans. I served on a school board, a volunteer school board, to help my local community shape the way we do education for children. So I wanted to continue doing that. So when I came to Florida in 2017, I got into law enforcement. Yep, I got into law enforcement. I worked for the Mount Dora Police Department for a few years, and then later on, I switched and started working right here in the villages for the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office. Now, don't knock me. I was one of 2 motor cops. So if I ever got pulled over by a motor cop and got a ticket, I apologize. And at the end of this, I'm still going to beg for your loan. Okay. But when I say I know this community, I really mean it. I worked here for a few years. I've driven these roads. I've met the people that make this place what it is. And during the time, I started noticing something. That people were frustrated. People felt like Washington and the local government had stopped listening to them. And now, the village's Democratic population has grown tremendously. That people are noticing. You guys are being talked about all over, because when I first got here, this was the reddest district I know. They had many protests, but now I show up to protest that building I'm put together, and it goes for miles. And people are noticing that. And if that's happening here in the villages, people are fed up. And we appreciate it. But what really pushed me to run for Congress, before I started thinking about running for Congress, I started doing these listening tours, and I started listening to people talk and see what their issues was, and I came across a single dad in Mount Dora, and he talked to me about 10, 15 minutes, and he told me I was the first candidate that he could actually remember that even came and spoke to him. Candidate and elected official. And we're talking about a low-income population in Mount Dora. And that really moved him to say, let's talk. I want to know what you're going to change. And he was telling me about his story. He told me he was working 2 jobs, trying to stay afloat, trying to take care of his kids, trying to do everything right. But he said something I will never forget. He kept going on, but then he said that I'm doing everything right, but I feel like the system is working against me. And that's something that we hear far too often from everybody. But that conversation stayed with me. Why? Because I've heard that story before. With me. Growing up in Brooklyn, sorry. Working EMS, hearing the stories, working law enforcement, it's the same old feeling. And then I really started paying attention to the people who are supposed to be representing us in Congress. And then I saw Randy Klein. I have a thing that I would probably not say his name more than 3 times. I think of it as like Candyman. After that, he probably appear. No, he won't come here because there's actual people who care about our country here. So he won't come here. But I saw Randy Klein saying things that I never thought I would hear from an elected official. Talking about children in Gaza to starve and die. Talking about race and attacking people due to their status or who they love, or women. You love attacking women. That's a current congressional representative that represents probably you guys that's sitting in this crowd. In that moment, I realized something. That our country is heading down a path that I cannot just sit back and watch anymore. Because America, I believe in growing up, wouldn't let this happen. We didn't let it happen. So why are we letting it happen now? Because America was built on respect. It's built on leaders who remember that their job is to represent all people. Not just the people who elected you into office. It's every single person in that district, no matter if they voted for you or not. You need to stand up for them just like you're going to stand up for the party who voted you in. And I remember something that my family always said, because I was fed up. Do something about it. My grandma always said, if not you, then who? You guys already know what I'm saying. My grandma old school, and they said it a lot growing up. And if not now, then when? And so at that moment, after talking to my grandma, because you know, my grandma could convince me to do anything. Right? My mom, I love my mom, but my grandmother could convince me to do everything, and she's my spiritual guide. And once I finished talking to her, my family, my wife, and they say, Ronnie, I think you're the best person to run for Congress. And that's when I threw my head in a hat. Because I truly believe, based off my background, my strength, and my passion to stand up for everyday people, that I'm the only candidate willing to go to Washington and look Trump and Randy Fine in the face and say, enough is enough. And I'm willing to stand up and fight like hell for my country. Right? I don't care what party you belong to. Your job is to do what's right for all people. And if you can't do that, it's time for you to go. Go. Yes, time for you to go. And I'm not just talking about Randy Fine, and I'm not just talking about the people in the Republican Party, because we got some people in our party too. John Fetterman, gotta go. Gotta go. Because right now people are frustrated for a reason. We have a president who ran on a platform that we were going to lower the everyday price of everything. Oh, and he said it, I was doing it as soon as I get elected. First 2 weeks. We about a year and a half in, I think. You just talked about this, Bill, right? Gas prices. You seen the price of the gas? For 87. For 87, it's pushing almost over $4 a gallon. We were promised no new wars. But now we find ourselves in a military conflict. Listen, mama ain't raised no food. If it walks like a duck, it cracks like a duck. We all know. Okay, thank you. I thought we had some good-minded people up in here, right? Because this is not some limited police operation or military operation. People are dying. Our soldiers are dying. Our economy is in a flux. This is a war. And until Congress step up and put him in his place, he is going to continue to think he has the power to do what he wants. But Congress has a responsibility under the Constitution to provide checks and balances. And they must take that power back from him. But instead, we have a Congress that allowed this president to go unchecked for far, far too long. Our system of government was not designed for a one-party system or a one-branch government. This is a three-branch government for a reason. We need checks and balances, right? I don't do this alone. My wife keeps me in check. Right? And if they don't keep us in check, our parents keep us in check. Right? There's always somebody who keeps us in check. And we need that with our government. But that's why we need leaders that are willing to stand up and defend the Constitution right now. It is dire in need of independence. But I also believe that it's time we have a real serious conversation about term limits for Congress in this United States. Listen, I love the people who came before us and made America the way we are for people like me. I'm 35 years old and I'm very, very thankful, but it's time to pass the torch. Time to pass the torch. But I also believe about reforming the Supreme Court of the United States and expanding it. We have to expand the Supreme Court of the United States. Why? Because it needs to reflect the diversity of the America we're living in today. It has to, for all people, for all races. Because this is not about party or power. This is about restoring a government that works for everyday Americans.
Citizens United.
Oh, we getting there. Hold on. Give me a second. Because I was just about to go into the part where every speech comes to, where we ask for your support. He was just up here saying that I'm not going to ask for your vote. Ronnie is, right? Because this campaign is a grassroots movement. I don't take corporate PACs. I don't take AI PACs. This is all about the people. And I'm going to tell you why. We already know why. Look what's been influencing our elections. Look what's been influencing our policies. If you don't accept money from these big corporations and these special interests, you have nothing holding your shoulders down when it's time to stand in front of the halls of Congress and say, that bill is crap and it does nothing for the people of America. And you don't have to answer to corporate greed down in another foreign country. Because I'll tell you something, if you don't take that money, something interesting happens. Here's the magic, ready? Here's the magic. We focus on what really matters.
That's right.
That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. It is that simple. Who matters? The people. You. You matter. You matter. You matter. I matter. No matter who you are, you matter. Undocumented immigrants matter.
Yeah.
They matter. Because if you don't know, they have stabilized our economy more than once, and they get nothing in return. I'm all for, and I'm a former law enforcement officer, and I'm all for abolishing ICE. So, gotcha. But if you can donate to my campaign, I will truly, deeply appreciate it. But your time is just as important. If you can knock on doors, if you can phone me, if you can text voters, you can volunteer, I need you to help out. And if you can't do any of that, please follow me on social media. Sharing the word, telling your neighbors, telling your friends is just as important as donating to grassroots campaigns. Because we rely on you. Because movements like this is built by everyday working people. And before I close, because I always close with something like this, I want to leave you guys with a word of wisdom from one of the people that I admire dearly, even before I started doing the campaign trail. And many of you know him, the late John Lewis. One of the best representatives we ever had in the halls of Congress. He once said that when you see something unjust, not fair, you have a moral obligation to say something and to do something. Not just to sit on the sidelines. So with you guys, please, let's continue to stand up. Let's continue to fight back. Let's continue to switch these red seats, flip them blue. We have a real chance. We have a real chance in my district, and Florida 6th district, to flip it. This is only a R plus 14 district. We have been flipping R plus 20 plus in red states like Texas and Tennessee and deep parts of Pennsylvania. We can do that here. They're scared. That's why they gerrymander right now as we speak. Because they know if there's nothing else you can do to win, you cheat. So in the words of my late great friend, let's continue to cause good trouble. Thank you guys.
just want to mention that at the conclusion of the meeting, both Ronnie and Dan will take questions, as well as we're going to do a group photograph out here. So if you want to come up and join us, it'll be like a family affair. Just grab a sign, that way we can take a picture with both candidates together. I want to introduce the candidate for Congress, Dan Williams, who's running for District 11. And he is a engineering background, college professor, and he's tech savvy. So with that, Dan.
How are we doing? I want to thank Bill and all of you for being here today. So give yourselves a round of applause to start. Like I said, my name is Dan Williams, and I am running for the Florida House, or actually U.S. House, sorry about that, for Florida's District 11. Now, I'm a college professor. I am a former Disney cast member. I'm also an award-winning author, a former superhero, more on that later, and now I'm actually the candidate that's going to be trying to unseat Daniel Webster. Indiana, and I came down here to work for Walt Disney World. And I worked there for 25 years at Disney University doing computer and design work. I've also been a college professor for over 20 years, and I currently teach at Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. And I currently teach Winter Park or Full Sail? Full Sail. Yeah, nice. And I currently teach computer programming for mobile apps and websites. So I'm very technical. Oh yeah, the other thing is, I'm also a proud dog dad to this corgi. Yeah, she gets her own slide. Now the one thing that you did not hear me say up there is I am not a career politician. I actually have no background in politics. What I am is a concerned citizen just like you that is currently fed up with our administration. Show of hands now. Who is happy with our current Democratic Party as it is? Okay, look around, everyone. Not one person raised their hand. And I want you to figure out why. All right? Has anybody ever asked that to themselves yet? Is it that we want better fighters up in D.C.? Is it we need better people that represent us? Right? But the thing is we keep electing the same kind of people up there, and it's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So we need to try something different. And I'll tell you right now, I am something different. This is my favorite article that got written about me from the Vox Populi, and it's one of the Winter Garden papers. In it, she calls me the weird candidate, because I like to say the word weird more than anyone. And in the article, she actually compares me to Tim Walz, and I take that as a really great compliment. I think the word weird is the best word in this situation right now, because what's happening up in DC is crazy to me. As a citizen, just kind of watching it unfold, I really couldn't think of any other word to say that it's weird. Because what's going on is we're trampling all over the Constitution. We're arresting people for their skin color or the language that they speak. And all of that is just really makes me angry, to be quite honest. And I hope it makes you guys angry too. Does it? All right. So that is why I'm embracing the weird thing, because I want to try something brand new with us. But for it, I need another show of hands. How many people believe that education is important to our future? All right, I agree with that too. As a college professor, I could not champion education more. I have many plans on how to try to fix it for us, including lowering the percentage rates for the loans that we have to take out. I want to change how education works in general as well. All right? One more thing. How many people believe that technology is important to the future of our country? All right. Seeing people in almost every single hand, right? The weird thing about it, and weird again, right, is that in the House currently, there are only a few amount of tech people. So this is what I would like to try to kind of point out, that we have to start electing people for the policies and things that are happening now, not what happened 20 years ago. So if you look at our pie chart, the biggest thing up here with 165 people that are currently in the House is they have a political science degree. What does that mean to you? That means career politicians, right? We don't really need those anymore, I don't think. I think their time might be a little bit over. The next chunk down there is business and accounting. That makes a little bit of sense. Next biggest chunk, law and history. Still pretty good. If you kind of skip all the way down, we can see education. There are 25 people that have a background in education. Not too bad, right? Keep going all the way down that list. You're gonna find engineering, there's currently 9 people. Of those engineering, they're not the technical kind, they're mostly civil engineers. All right? Keep going down that list. We come down to computer science. There are currently 5 people that in the whole entire house that actually understand anything with computers. All right? It's concerning to me too, because I feel like technology is the future of America. And we all raise our hand for that, right? So why are we electing people that can't do it? And the people that are up there, by the way, are mostly from the military computer science or from private sector business. So ask yourselves, what is their priority going to be up there, right? I'll tell you mine. Mine is education and serving the people. That is it. That is my whole entire life. All right, so I want you to think about what is the most important topic to you right now. And if this were smaller, I would kind of call on people, but it's kind of a giant room. But I can probably guess, right? It's probably affordability. Can I see a show of hands about affordability? All right. How about education and the attack on education? Pretty good, right? How about environment? Perfect, I'm glad. All right, so all of those things are super duper important. But the thing that is kind of the crazy thing currently in our government right now is I feel like we have to start getting rid of corruption. And because I feel like all those other issues is trying to redesign a bathroom in your house while the house is burning around you. Right? All those are really important, and I would love a new bathroom, but first things we have to do is fix everything. Because right now, Trump actually sent out a tweet, which is how we get all of our news right now, which don't even get me started on that. But he said he will not sign any bill until they pass the Say That. That is the correct answer. Thank you for starting the move. Yeah, so the problem is even if we came up with the best bill ever, we would have an uphill battle trying to pass it. And we'd need a veto-proof majority, which is very difficult right now up there. All right? So we have to kind of figure out, how does one person, like me or Ronnie, represent 800,000 people? It's a really good question, right? And the problem, or really the answer is, it's not easy and it probably is not well, right? Because currently, we have people of every single race, religion, background, economic status. And for one person to be able to do that, I think it is unreasonable. Let me tell you my idea though. So what I kind of want to show is I think we need direct representation. That's what I want to change. Because the tagline for my whole campaign is the future of Congress starts now. Because I want to change how Congress works on a fundamental level. All right? Big, but I'll explain. First thing is going to be direct representation, where each person gets their own vote in the whole system. And I'll come back to that in just 1 minute. The other thing that I think is going to be really important is instant accountability. The worst thing is when you elect somebody, when do you see them next? 2 years when they want your vote again? I hate that. It drives me nuts because I think people have to be held accountable and it has to be now, right? Some people won't even hold town halls, right? And Webster is one of those people. So before I actually even launched my campaign, what I did is I did protests. Because I'm a big believer in protests in general. I spoke at the last 4 different No King rallies, I was in the Tested Takedown ones, and everything like that. But that actually led me to the Lake County Indivisibles, where I helped them host their town hall, where we tried to invite Daniel Webster to come and answer questions from his people. Quick show of hands, how many people think he showed up? You're all correct, he did not show up. He in fact sent us a really nasty email back saying that he wouldn't waste his taxpayer time and dollars on this leftist stuff. So I was like, oh, great. And like, those are your people, no matter what side we are, right? And after that, I was like, he has to go, period, right? And so I started looking around about how to get him to go. And that is when I threw my hat in the ring, because I knew that we needed a concerned citizen, that my whole entire plan is to make sure that you guys feel represented. The other big thing that I think we need as a representative is cooperation. right? Cooperation, we need to be working with everyone. All the local leaders of the clubs, all the local, state, and federal leaders, we need to work together. Right now, we're mostly doing silo stuff, where everybody's doing their own campaign and everybody's doing something different. I don't understand why, right? Probably it's my background because I don't have a background in politics. I don't know. I think we should all be friends and I think we should work together, right? Yeah. The fun thing is you guys had Royal Webster here a couple months ago, right? I'm actually running against him. But we do events together. We actually team up on different stuff because we want to get our message out there. And our plan is to flip the seat blue no matter who is sitting in that seat. All right, so the next thing about cooperation is candidate petitions. How many people know what those are? Well, let me tell you. And also, for those people that are a little bit technical and you know how to use a QR code, if you'd like, you can scan this one and we'll actually take you to the online form that you can fill out. And you can actually print those right in the tea room. So if you want to, you can do it online, print them, and they'll be waiting for you in the tea room, and you can just sign them, which means you don't have to fill out your address or anything like that. But let me tell you a little bit about it. So candidate petition forms is when you're running for a seat. You have to get a certain number, and our number for this one is 2,600. If you don't get 2,600 and you miss it by 1, you have to pay the state $10,000 to get your name on the ballot. Right. I'd rather not pay $10,000 to the state. So if you guys could, we really appreciate you taking the time for it. Now, let me tell you about this. One thing that I want to make sure we do is cooperation. And I'm trying to not only help myself, but I'm trying to help all other candidates. So I have a technical background with making mobile apps and websites. So I made this a website, and I called it Fast Fill. What this does is it allows people to fill out one thing with just their first, last name, and birthday. You click the Find My Voter Information, it goes and finds your exact information, so it's always correct, and it automatically will fill out the forms for you. Now the better part of this, good stuff. So especially because we walked in the tea room, right? Those tables had 12 different petitions, and how long does it take you to fill them out? Not a long time, right? And the first time I ever noticed this is when I had a booth at the Martin Luther King Jr. rally in Claremont. And I was sitting next to the Democratic booth, and I watched people stand there for 20 to 30 minutes trying to fill these out. And I was like, there clearly has to be a better way. But this is my first attempt at trying to make the government more tech savvy, all right? So this is my kind of thing for it. The other kind of great thing is you can actually select multiple candidates. So you're gonna find on there that if you'd like to support Ronnie and myself, make sure we're both checked. When you print it out, both forms will print out already filled. All you have to do is meet us in the tea room, sign it, and date it, and you guys are done. 2 forms, 10 seconds. All right? And that's your first one. All right. My big thing is policies over parties, right? Because I believe that policies unite people where parties tend to divide us. Would you guys agree with that? Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people fight over specific issues. And a lot of times it comes down to mis or disinformation. So I feel like we need a better way to get more good information out to people. Right? One of the projects that I'm working on right now is the Lake County Connector. There's a couple of people doing it. It's going to be a new news website for political stuff and Earth care, and we're currently working on it, and I'm actually building their whole website for them. So be on the lookout for that as well. Now, the other thing that's going to be important is my main platform for my campaign, right? I told you I want to do direct representation, and this is it. It is called direct democracy. How many people have heard of it? Ronnie. Right. So the plan is very simple. It is you vote and I listen. End of sentence, right? So my whole plan of this is every single time we have a major law coming up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an educational video for everyone, explaining exactly what happens if you vote yes on the bill, exactly what happens if you vote no on the bill, and then at the end, I will give my opinion about how I think we should vote. And my opinion will be clearly labeled as opinion. The yes and no will be only factual based, and I'm going to ignore our all-party politics, because I feel like the truth about the bills is usually somewhere in the middle. Right now, they're all written in legalese, which nobody can understand. And do you think that's on purpose? Yeah. My big thing is I hate riders. Have you guys know what riders are? Yeah. Riders are little pieces of law that gets tacked on to a must-pass. So when we're voting about environment, suddenly we now have raised gas prices or something like that. It just makes no sense. And so I like to point those out because I feel like we should have one topic per one law as much as possible. So how does direct democracy work? Well, I started with the idea first, and my whole campaign is built on a thing called Ask America. As a college professor and a tech person, I started building it. So I started building the database for it, front end, which is the website, and all that kind of stuff. However, when I was halfway through it, I met a group that's also based right here in Central Florida, and they are called the Digital Democracy Project. A lot of people know them. Okay, we have to change that. Basically what they do is they are allowing you guys to vote right now on bills. And what happens is that it has a scorecard where you can actually see how your current representatives stack up against your wishes. So you can have a thumbs up and thumbs down on every single bill, or in general as well, right? And they're actually going to be powering my whole platform of Ask America. So they are fantastic. The other big thing is that they are also powered by Votes, with a V and a weird Z because it's a tech company, right? So Votes is a company where it is secure voting. And just to make sure that you guys are comfortable with it, the military right now uses it for military members to vote overseas. So we know it is secure as well. And everybody gets one vote. Also, if you're not a tech person, we're gonna have a phone line that you can call in because we definitely want to hear from absolutely everyone. All right? So that is the main idea for direct democracy. Now, if you go into the direct democracy website, you're gonna see something like this, which is an interactive map. So you can actually currently see how other concerned citizens are voting. You can see how America is voting. You can see how Florida is voting. You can zoom all the way into District 11 or District 6 as well, right? So you can actually see how many people around you are voting in what direction. So whatever the majority opinion here is gonna be my direct vote in DC. No matter if I believe in it or not, because I feel like every single person's opinion should count as much as mine. And I feel like that is what direct representation should be. I don't think that one person's opinion should speak for 800,000 of us. Yeah. All right? All right, so that's going to be for when we already have a bill and we have to explain that bill. But what about our concerns right here in District 11, right? So what I have on my website right now is a thing called a legislative workshop. What it is, it's a way for you to give me ideas for laws right now and to voice your opinion on our current laws. So currently up there, we have one, which is a huge swing, and I know it, so bear with me. I want to end corrupt pardons, right? Just for that. Right now, Donald Trump has pardoned enough people where he has cost America $2 billion with a B. Because when you pardon someone, you wipe out any of the financial debt that they owed anyone, right? And right now, there is zero check on this across the way. There's no way to stop him from doing it, even if it's super illegal. Like one person's mother went to a fundraiser for him, donated $1 million, and within 1 week, that person had a pardon. They bought a pardon for $1 million, all right? What I want to do is I would like to make a constitutional amendment change, which is huge, but I think it's important enough to try to do. Because if something is hard, that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. And right now, I feel like no one is trying, all right? The other thing I want to talk about is digital information privacy and protections. America right now is losing in this battle, all right? What digital information is how many people have ever said something near their phone and then got an ad for it the next day? Your phone is actively listening to you and trying to serve you up content. Every single social media site. Why do you think they're free? If it's free, you are actually paying it with your data and your time and attention, all right? We are very far behind, especially in Europe, in creating laws for a Digital Information Privacy Act. And so I want to make sure that we have tech people in there in order to help legislate this kind of stuff, right? Other big things for tech are AI. AI is going to be the future. No matter if we like it or not, it is changing how everything works. And if we have no one up there that understands it, what's going to happen? Right? We get something like where they passed the law that states can't regulate it for 10 years. Anything with AI, that's a decade. 1 week in AI, everything changes. And we have no way to stop it right now. And so we need more tech people in order to fix it. Cryptocurrency, right? Yeah, cryptocurrency is huge. And they're doing all of these laws out there that 0 people understand. We were trying to disapprove America to try to have a stable coin. Now, a stable coin is basically like a new form of currency. You can kind of think of it like an American dollar, except it's digital, all right? China already has one. There are 3 American ones. 2 of them are held by private companies. The third is World Liberty. You guys know what that is? Well, who owns that? Trump, all right? He's trying to stop us from creating a stable coin so that he can enrich himself and his family. And we need to be able to stop that. We need people that actually understand it in order to help them stop it, all right? Other things on my website is you can actually see the problem that we're trying to solve in plain English, the solution in plain English, and there's a spot to vote. Now, you just read it and you can actually answer yes, no, or pass, like if you don't mind. And what happens is it helps us shape how detailed that bill is and what that bill should actually do. If you guys have an idea for a bill, please come and talk to me. I'd be more than happy to make one up, put it on my site, and we can actually get people starting to vote on it as well. Because I want to hear from everyone. Because I want everyone involved in it, right? Because right now, a lot of people, when you say politics, they're like, ugh, and just walk away, right? My own sister is one of those. When I told her I was running for Congress, she goes, ugh, why? And I'm like, can I say that in my speech? And she's like, go ahead. Because I think it is everyone's feeling right now. And I think one of the reasons why is that we don't feel heard. And we don't feel like our voice counts or our opinion matters. And personally, just sitting on the sidelines as a college professor, I think we need to change that, all right? So, direct representation. That's my direct democracy plan. Everybody is gonna get every major vote on every major bill. My vote will always go with the majority, no matter what. Next. Instant accountability. I have to be held accountable for every single vote I do, right? Because I'm pledging right now, and I've pledged since I very much started this whole campaign, that I will always vote with the majority. So I will never go rogue on my own. Other important things, cooperation, right? Cooperation, I'm building tools, not for myself, but for our whole entire Democratic Party. One of the other cool things is I just met with the Florida Democracy Data Council, and I showed them what I built, and they are super excited to incorporate it into their own systems. So this is gonna be out there in a lot of different ways. So once again, my name is Dan Williams, and I hope very much to unseat Daniel Webster and be your candidate. So if you ever see my pictures online, I'll be in a spandex and a cape, and I'm kind of proud of it. So I got to be a different kind of hero going forward, one that doesn't have to wear my cape. Thanks everybody, have a good one. Be the hero.
Just want to make a couple very quick announcements. In your lanyard, you will find business cards for the club. If you have friends, neighbors, people who you want to, let them know about the Democratic Club here, give this to them. This is how they can get in touch with us. Number 2 is that we are going to be getting together with Dan and Ronnie here to do a group photo. So please come up and join us. Don't be asking questions if you don't mind until after the photo, but grab a sign that's here in the front. Finally, there is a flash rally we're doing, roadside rally that's outside here, so feel free to use the sign for that event if you want to participate. So thank you so very much for making it out this evening, this afternoon.